Hey guys, welcome back to Mad Marketing's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you a quick brief on the abandoned cart flow, what it is, and how you should be using it, what things you should actually be testing while using it, and then my personal recommendation for e commerce shops. So, we're going to be looking at one of my clients here today. I set them up with an abandoned cart reminder flow not too long ago using Klaviyo. So a lot of you are going to be e-commerce shop owners, and what I would actually recommend for you is using Klaviyo for your abandoned cart flow. Now, some of you might be thinking, yeah, why do that when Shopify has a built-in abandoned cart flow? Now, the reason I recommend this is because with Klaviyo, you're able to A B test your subject line. You are able to A B test the actual aesthetic of your email, your call to action, the wording, the colors, the placement of your images, and all these things you're actually able to A B test. And so, what I have found through my own experience is the actual conversion rates for the emails coming from Klaviyo for your abandoned cart flow perform much better. And what I mean by that, if I were to just keep it really simple, is you'll recover more abandoned carts when you use Klaviyo to capture those potential customers, right? So we're going to look at this first email, and we can see that in all time, it's been created for partial of July and then, August. A 33% open rate, which is absolutely outstanding. A 3.4% click rate, which is, again, that is pretty good. And then almost $900 in revenue from 10 customers. So, in and of itself, it's doing well. What could you potentially change here? What would I recommend is maybe taking a look at that click rate, maybe optimizing and changing the way the email looks. See if we can get a higher click rate. The open rate is doing great, and I do believe it's being A B tested, and we'll actually show you what that looks like here on Klaviyo. So what we're seeing here is we have two subject lines. One is it looks like you left something behind, and the other one is we know how life gets in the way. Now, by looking at the recipients and the total number of opened emails, there's no real statistical uh, significant difference here. So we can, allow these to keep testing depending on how long they've been running. And I would say if they've been running for 30 days, then I would count this as a negative positive. I believe that's the correct term, meaning there's no real winner here. So we can just select one of these subject lines to continue running and then change the other one to implement a new test. Now, based off of what I'm seeing here, it does seem to be a little bit of a difficult decision. And the reason for that is it seems Klaviyo hasn't necessarily tracked the clicks correctly here for some reason. And so that reason I'm going to have to reach out to their chat team. But if we look here, you can see clicked for subject test A, 12 recipients, and clicked for B is 3 recipients. Now, placed order for A is 4 recipients, and placed order for B is 6 recipients, which isn't really possible if only 3 people click. So obviously the clicks are more. But in cases like this, you're going to run a new test, but you're going to keep option B where it says we know how life gets in the way. And that's just the subject line that I came up with. And the reason for that is because it's getting more revenue. So at the end of the day, the most important things about your email marketing, yes, open rate is important, deliverability, click, etc., etc. I also created a blog not too long ago about the top 6 email analytics you should be paying attention to. I'll link that in the description below. But moving on, the most important thing here is your revenue, right? The whole purpose of your email marketing, especially to your CEOs, the C-suite team, is the money that it's actually bringing in, right? Of course, it's there for engagement, etc., but it's also important to get sales, right? So what I would do is leave test B, leave option B, and then change up option A. But moving on, I just wanted to give you an idea to show you that you can actually test your subject lines, and you can test the actual email itself. So let's go back. So what I want to show you next is you can actually test the time. So you can't A/B test the time right now, but what you can do is change the duration between change the duration between when the person actually abandons their cart and then when they receive the email. So I think the standard that Klaviyo has it set up for is about 4 hours. Now, what I've noticed is it takes about 1 hour. In 1 hour, I could get a 33% open rate, right? So if we look here on this side, delivered 164, skipped 376. So skipped is likely telling me these are the people that have purchased. So there's no reason for me to follow up with an email. But we got 164 delivered, 40% of them open, and that led to, again, it seems like it's tracking a different timeline. But again, the revenue is there. 4.9% of the people who opened purchased. So this is great. It's making the sales. And then again, 2 hours later. Oh, so let me actually finish explaining this part because I don't want to leave you hanging there. So it starts off at 4 hours. I change mine to 1 hour. So the reason people abandon carts is maybe they got a phone call while they're shopping on their phone, right? Maybe they realize that they need to run to the store for something. Maybe they had to put their phone down because they have kids in the background that they have to, get them food or something. Maybe they got hungry themselves, so they wanted to get food. Maybe they started playing a video game or something. Just literally, life does happen. Life does get in the way, and things that happen around you, for a lot of people, it just kind of distracts you from what you're currently doing. So I give them about 1 hour to deal with whatever it is they got to deal with, and then I remind them, say, hey, look, you left these things in the cart, and like, I know you want them, but something in your life just came up, and so I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity to get the things you want. So here's a reminder, right? Now, if you notice that 1 hour isn't working for you, try 2 hours, try a half hour, right? There's all these different options for you to actually try, and you can do that. And what I would recommend is leave it for 30 days at 1 hour, record the performance, right? And then switch it to 2 hours. For 30 days, record the performance. Now, compare the two. Which of the two performed better? That's the one that you want to leave it at. And you can do that for the second email and so on. I even have down here up to a day. So the first email is 1 hour. The time I send the second email, it's 2 hours. So that's 3 hours in total from the time that they abandoned their cart. And then another day, a whole 24 hours before they even receive the third email. And that third email, which is 27 hours later from the time that they actually abandoned their cart, is still seeing a 29% open rate and is still getting some revenue. So at the risk of being slightly annoying with an open rate that's so high, I can potentially add another email into this. And as a basis or starting point, I'd probably do it 12 hours later. So these are the things that you can do with your abandoned cart flow. It's super important that you get this implemented right away, because these are the people who are actually interested in your product. They've taken the time to discover you. They've taken the time to browse your website, add products to their cart. You do not want to miss out on the potential revenue that you can be making from these potential customers. This is your target market. These people have shown interest. There are people who come to your site, browse a few products, never add anything to their cart, and leave. And you can retarget them on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. But you don't want to miss out on the people who have shown actual interest and desire for the products that you're currently selling. So what I recommend is, especially if you're an e-commerce shop owner, and especially again if you're using Shopify, jump onto Klaviyo right away. And if you do nothing else with your email marketing, set up your abandoned cart flow. Make sure that you're capturing those people who have real interest in what it is that you're selling, and recover those abandoned carts. And if you need help, I'll link our website down below. We'll be happy to set this up for you. For us, it's easy because we've done it so many times, while the person doing it for their very first time, it might take a while. But I look forward to hearing from you guys. I hope this video brought you value. And if it did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and even share the video with people who you believe this could help. I'll see you guys next week.